Hello and cześć. Welcome to the Warsaw Narrative Podcast, the first English language podcast about the history of Warsaw, the capital of Poland. My name is Tomasz Panasiak, and Warsaw is my hometown. And in my free time, I am a tour guide around the city. In each episode, I want to tell you about the monuments, events, people, and legends that have shaped Warsaw. Since this is a brand new podcast, I would really appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, and comment. In this episode, we will take a look at the name of Poland's capital. I think this would be a great starting point for the podcast, because just like with a person, when we first meet someone, we learn their name. In Polish, Warsaw is Warszawa. In other languages, it is Varsovie in French, Warschau in German, Huasha in Chinese, and Varsovio in Esperanto if you like niche languages. Fun fact, the inventor of Esperanto, L.L. Zamenhof, lived and is buried in Warsaw. But getting back to the meaning of Warsaw or Warszawa, the use of the name can be traced back to the 14th-15th century, and according to the National Center for Culture, it is connected with a local landowner named Warcisław, or Warsz for short. So our friend Warsz owned a village, and to make sure that everyone knew he owned it, he called it Warszawa, with the word Awa meaning settlement or village. So Warszawa means the village, settlement, land owned by Warsz. That's it. There are also several legends connected with how Warsaw got its name. The most popular one is the legend of Wars and Sawa. These are two people, and it has three different versions. Version number one day, King Casimir the Restorer, traveling from Kraków to Gniezno, arrived at a poor fisherman's hut. The hungry king was drawn there by a smell of fresh food. Why the king was traveling without food? No one knows. While enjoying the delicious fish, the fisherman told the king how his wife recently had twins, a boy and a girl. The poor fisherman, however, had trouble baptizing the twins because there was no church nearby. In return for the meal, the king wanted to pay the host with gold. But the fisherman, according to old folk custom and lack of a bank account, refused to accept payment. The king then promised to organize a baptism and ask for the honor of being the godfather. Not a bad deal for a plate of fish. At the baptism, the king commanded that the boy be named Wars and the girl Sawa. At the same time, the king declared that from now on, the fisherman will be called Piotr Warsz, the royal fisherman and owner of the surrounding area. And when the town grew around the fishing hut, it was called, you guessed it, Warszawa. Version number 2. A long time ago, there was a tiny fisherman's hut by the Vistula River, in which lived a fisherman named Wars with his wife Sawa. So again, we have a fisherman's hut, and this time Wars and Sawa are grown up and married. I'm assuming they're not brother and sister like in the previous version. One day, there was a royal hunt in the area, during which Prince Ziemomysł, the lord of the nearby lands, got lost in the forest. The prince is a bit of a downgrade from a king, but again, we have a lost royal. The prince wandered through the woods for a long time until he reached the fisherman's hut. Wars and Sawa took the stranger in for the night and gave him food. In the morning, the grateful prince said, "You did not hesitate to take in a stranger under your roof, and you saved me from hunger, cold, and perhaps wild animals. Therefore, the lands shall be named after both of you, Wars and Sawa, so that your kindness will not be forgotten." Version number 3. This one has a mermaid in it. Once again, a poor fisherman named Wars lived alone in his hut by the banks of the Vistula River. Every evening, he would sit by the river in the moonlight, as television was not invented yet. One night, Wars heard the beautiful singing of a girl. He got into his boat and paddled to the direction of the singing. Then the waters of the river became very turbulent, but Vars did not care. I guess he hasn't seen a girl in a while. In the middle of the river, there was a mermaid. Her name, of course, as we can guess by now, was Sawa. When Vars reached out to her, Sawa transformed into a woman. She gave Vars a shield and a sword, and this way she entrusted herself, the river, and the city to Vars, which of course was named Wars Sawa after the lovebirds, or love fish in this case. If you look at the coat of arms of Warsaw, or the statue of the Warsaw mermaid, you will see that she holds a sword and a shield that this legend talked about. So, you probably noticed some repeating elements in these legends. Take a poor fisherman, add a lost royal, a pinch of Vars, and a spoonful of Sawa, and you have a Warsaw legend. What is interesting about the name Sawa, who is a woman in all these stories, is that Sawa is actually a man's name and not female. If the second legend was true, then Vars and Sawa would be the first homosexual couple in Slavic mythology. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and take care.